As humans, we have an innate desire to understand how things work. Our curiosity extends to the world, our surroundings, and even ourselves. For example, do we control our brains or do our brains control us? These are the questions that psychology seeks to answer. Psychology, the study of the human mind and behavior, was established in 19th century Europe by Wilhelm Wundt. Since then, it has aimed to unravel the mysteries of the mind. Today, you can mention psychology alongside any random statistic and people might accept it as fact. Despite this, psychology has undeniably made strides in explaining our thought processes and consciousness. Continue reading for an in-depth look inside your mind. Your thoughts have physical effects too. Stress and negativity eventually impact your immune system. Unhappiness increases your likelihood of illness. Sarcasm is a sign of a healthy brain. People who use sarcasm have healthier minds, as it promotes creative thinking, enhancing abstract thought. Cynics also tend to read people better. Catching a yawn shows empathy. Yawning after someone else yawns, despite not feeling tired, is a common phenomenon. One theory suggests yawns are contagious to display empathy. This behavior is known as mirroring, where one person unconsciously mimics another's gestures. Tears do not reveal the reason for crying. You might have read that happy tears fall from the right eye first, while left-falling tears indicate pain. However, this claim lacks scientific proof. Your clothing choices affect your mood. Dressing well boosts your self-esteem and happiness. A single negative thought requires at least 5 positive ones to counteract it. Due to the negativity bias, this bias is why you dwell on a co-worker's insult despite receiving compliments. To offset a negative thought, a 5:1 ratio of positive to negative is necessary. Food prepared by others tastes better than your own cooking, even with the same recipe. Preparing a meal can make it less appealing when it is time to eat, reducing satisfaction. Eating food cooked by others eliminates this effect. You tend to believe what you want to believe unintentionally. Due to confirmation bias, this bias leads to misinterpreting facts to confirm existing beliefs. For instance, a myth about Charles Darwin converting to Christianity on his deathbed persists, despite being debunked by his son. Your memories are easily manipulated. Within 3 hours, you could be convinced you committed a crime in your teenage years. Thinking in another language makes decisions seem more rational. You tend to be less discerning about money in your native language, indicating that language affects decision-making. Asking will I is more motivating than declaring I will. A University of Illinois study suggests that questioning goals is more motivating than stating them. Strict rules lead to more rule-breaking, a phenomenon known as reactance. This explains why a teenager prohibited from using a phone in class might also chew gum. Your dreams carry more meaning than conscious thoughts. 70% of dreams contain secret messages, indicating their importance. Having a plan B reduces the likelihood of plan A's success. University of Pennsylvania experiments revealed that backup plans decrease motivation for the first task. Fear can be beneficial. Some people enjoy scary movies due to adrenaline, dopamine, and endorphins from a fight or flight response. Your brain knows you are not in real danger, so you experience a natural high. You care more about individuals than massive tragedies. The University of Pennsylvania study found that people donate more when hearing about a single starving child than when learning about millions starving. Psychologists believe you help individuals but feel your contribution is insignificant in large-scale problems. You prefer expecting the worst to uncertainty. Researchers found that anticipating negative outcomes is less stressful than uncertainty. Returning favors is natural, driven by the rule of reciprocity. This brain command encourages helping those who help you, promoting societal harmony. Testing improves memory retention. Tests are effective learning tools, as information lasts longer when tested rather than just studied. You obsess over perceived shortages. The brain is scarcity sensitive, constantly feeling deprived. You see faces in inanimate objects due to pareidolia, a tendency to find faces rather than miss real ones. You always find problems. Research shows that resolving one problem leads to finding another. This explains why volunteers selecting threatening computer-generated faces eventually chose tame ones when they ran out of threatening faces. You alter facts rather than change opinions about people. Cognitive dissonance causes discomfort when reality contradicts beliefs, leading to free passes for loved ones' wrongdoings. High expectations motivate you. The Pygmalion effect explains why you perform better when others believe in you and worse when they expect failure. Crying is beneficial. Extended crying releases endorphins, easing physical and emotional pain. You can feel certain without facts or reasoning. Electric stimulation of a specific brain area can induce a feeling of certainty even without evidence. This was demonstrated in a study on rats, where researchers planted a false memory of a bad experience. Some people fear excessive happiness, anticipating tragedy. A favorite song is linked to an emotional event in your life, not just lyrics or tune. Smart people often self-criticize, while ignorant people overestimate their abilities. Being ignored feels like physical injury. Rejection triggers similar chemical effects to physical pain. Loneliness is more detrimental to health than expected. A Harvard study linked extreme loneliness to high levels of a blood clotting protein associated with stroke and heart attacks. Power reduces empathy. Studies, including the Stanford Prison Experiment, found that power diminishes the ability to assess others' feelings. Rewards can make boring tasks seem fun. A study paid volunteers to convince others that a boring task was interesting. Those who found the task boring received $20, while those who convinced themselves it was fun received $1. Long-term deadlines receive less importance. The brain prioritizes urgent tasks, leading to procrastination. Optimism can be taught. Learned optimism involves rejecting negative self-talk, while learned helplessness is linked to pessimism. Internet trolls often exhibit psychopathic, narcissistic, and sadistic tendencies. Anxiety levels have increased over the years. Today's average high school student experiences the same anxiety levels as 1950s psychiatric patients. People aged 18 to 33 are the most stressed, with levels decreasing after age 33. Creative individuals have an 8% higher chance of bipolar disorder, although not all creative people have it, and not all with bipolar disorder are creative. A broken heart can cause death. Broken heart syndrome or stress cardiomyopathy leads to short-term heart muscle malfunction. Power has similar effects to a traumatic brain injury, causing unpredictability, risk-taking, and reduced empathy. Social media addiction stems from psychological schemes, such as infinite scrolling, which lacks stop cues. This explains why you continue scrolling on Facebook despite intending to check notifications. The phantom vibration syndrome affects 68% of the population, making you feel your phone vibrate without notifications. Believing your idol loves you might indicate erotomania, a disorder where a person thinks a famous individual is in love with them. Some people live as if they are on reality TV, suffering from the Truman Syndrome, believing they are stars in a show. Japanese people experiencing disappointment with Paris suffer from Paris syndrome, a psychological disorder. Hallucinatory voices vary by culture. In the US, voices are harsh and aggressive, while in India and Africa, they are mild and playful. The Japanese term hikikomori describes people who isolate themselves in their rooms for years, leading to social and health problems. Narcissistic personality disorder affects about 6% of the population, characterized by self-importance and lack of empathy. Narcissists often also suffer from depression or anxiety, typically the reason they seek therapy. Tylenol acetaminophen alleviates psychological conditions like social rejection. Antidepressants can suppress emotions related to love and romance. The urge to go to the beach has a psychological basis, as water's sight has a soothing effect, making people happier and more creative. Pronoia is the opposite of paranoia, where one believes others are secretly planning their success. The IKEA effect leads to valuing self-assembled objects more, regardless of quality. Billy Milligan had 24 personalities. Born in Florida in 1955, his core personality, William Stanley Milligan, shared his mind with 23 others, 2 of whom committed crimes. Milligan was sent to a mental health center instead of jail due to insanity. These fascinating psychological insights highlight the complexity of the human mind. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing facts.